Hello traders and welcome back to another market update. Today we're going to take a look at the currency market and see what's going on in terms of technical analysis as well as potential trade setup. So let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So taking a look here, we've got EURUSD on the 4-hour chart, and what we can see now is that price looks like it's headed down into a downtrend here on the 4-hour chart. You can see we have broken through a major level of structure that we pointed out last week. Price broke through this level, found resistance when retesting, and is continuing to the downside for now. Now the question will be, can we see that continuation to the downside, as we did put in a double top nicely along the top of this range and saw trend reverse here on EURUSD. Now if price really decides to get going to the downside, we have room to run all the way back down to this major recent low, right? So if price does decide to continue bearish here on euro dollar, we could see price headed back there. We have some minor support levels along the way. You have this level here, you have this level here. Looking left, we can see the price action in those areas was pretty indicative of reversal. So if price comes into those areas, you might see some minor reversals, but if this trend continues, I think there's a pretty good chance we head back to the recent structure lows there on EURUSD, as sellers have shown themselves as very strong here in this particular move. GBPUSD is our next one. You can see here on the 4-hour chart, not too much to say. We did come down into this area of support and held very nicely there during the London session. Price is making a bounce there, so we'll see if we can get a continued bounce back up. The real question would be if we can break through these levels here, right? We talked last week about the potential of a flag here, right? And so if this flag holds and we break to the high side, we could see a continuation to the upside. But for the time being, we're still watching to see how price responds to this level of horizontal support. USDJPY is going to be our next one. Let's take a look at the daily really quick, and I'd like to point out this level here. You can see we've kind of touched this zone of resistance, and really it's time for USDJPY to make a decision about which way it wants to head next, because for now it is currently testing a major level of resistance and has not decided whether it wants to break through that level strongly or if it wants to reverse. So for now, if we do see a pullback, I think that a pretty good chance is a pullback to this level here along this trend line, right? So that trend line has been important in the past, and so if price wants to retest or come down from that level, a potential target could be to watch for that trend line to be retested. Brent crude is our next one, which continues to channel up nicely. You can see if we draw our channel in, here is the lower half, and here is the top half. Right, so you have this kind of channeling market back and forth on Brent crude. For the most part, nothing really too much to say here. I'm waiting for one of these levels to either get tested or broken through. WTI crude is going to be a very similar story. You can see here. If we draw here along the top and bottom, we have a similar channel back and forth on this particular market, waiting for something big to happen where we could see either test of these levels or a break of these levels. XAUUSD. This is our next one. You can see here on the 4-hour chart, we are holding for the time being this recent structure low. Last week, we broke through a major level of support to the downside. We saw sellers get strong and push price through the lows right here. Now we are testing another major level of support here on the left. You can see this level right here, right? So this level of support is being tested right now to see if buyers can hold that area, which should be interesting to see if we can get a bounce. If we do get a bounce, price may be headed back up to retest that area that it recently broke right through. If it gets up there, we could see some sort of resistance hold in favor of this downtrend that we see happening on XAUUSD. Let's take a look at dollar Canadian this morning here. Taking a look at the daily chart might be good. You can see for the most part a pretty ranging back and forth market. Nothing really too decisive about dollar CAD right now. But it looks like price may want to come up to test this area, which could be an interesting level of resistance to watch out for. If price comes up into that area, we have seen heavy and clear seller resistance in that area right around the 1.3337 zone. So it should be interesting to see if price can get up there, that we see some sort of pullback or some sort of reversal there. GBPJPY on the 4-hour chart here, not too much to say, but I did want to point out that similar to GBPUSD, we have this kind of flag potential going on this particular market. And so still watching that as price is finding some bullishness here in the early morning hours of the New York session. So it should be interesting to see if we can break through that level. That may be the indication that we need for a next level push to the high side there on pound yen. Euro yen is going to be our last one, which I wanted to point this one out because it has even more of a clean channel here to the downside currently on this particular pattern. You can see price made a move to the high side and is chattering back and forth, pulling back. So watching for a break of that structure either up or down for a potential potential breakout continuation pattern setup. Guys, thank you so much for watching today's market update. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, and let's get back to it next time. Thank you very much. See you next time.